decide what that first personality was going to be, or how did?
Well, we while we were writing the script, we came up with like this voice like that we just would do. Like we kept watching Anchorman, and then we like and then it just morphed into this other thing.
And then we watched WWF wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of WWF wrestling, and then we also watched like Homestar Runner, and you watched how Strong Bad had developed, or even going back further, like The Simpsons. Like you watched the first season of The Simpsons. Like none of the voices are the same or real, or like they don't know what the characters are, and so we just said we give ourselves that permission to not know, and we will grow and we will continue to explore and get better. And so it was just like that first time. It was like, look, we just have to do it. Let's just do it, and then we'll do it again, and then we'll do it again, and then we'll do it again. And so it was just that kind of natural progression of repetition that really cemented everything.
Yeah.
And was it supposed to be a weekly episode or a daily? Or do you have any plans for how often you do it?
It wasn't that firm. Like we knew we weren't going to be daily, so it was kind of always.
That kind of shook out about maybe 3 months in when we figured out, oh, this is what we probably can conceivably do with our lives.
And how long does it, I mean, there's a lot of cuts in there. That must take you, how long does it take you to edit this
4 or 6 edits per show. So
yeah.
it's
No.
a lot of edits.
Well, thankfully, like I hate myself when I edit, so I'm a miserable person. Yeah. So now we've got Damian Somerset, who also just launched Zaproot, does the assembly edits for us, and then I work back and forth with him. But yeah, those edits, there's a ton of them in there, and it's all because we just shoot with one camera angle, and it just gives it some visual pizzazz. And
did you start with different 3 cameras and then just get simple, or how did it?
We started with 2 camera angles.
Yeah, we started with 2 camera angles, but that was it took too much time to get performance from 2 separate things because we only had 1 camera. So I was like, look. Because I already hated myself for editing 1 camera angle,
and
so I was like...
it was a broken camera.
So I was like, look,
like
we shot the first one on my digital still camera, and you could tell by the focus just keeps going in and out.
A digital still camera used the video?
For the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
And with the built-in mic and everything, but the sound was fine, but the focus would just wander. But yeah, so it was too much work, and so I was like, look, I know, I will I will be able to struggle through and edit 1 camera angle, but if I have to do 2, I will kill myself. And so I was like, we're not going to do 2 camera angles, and I'll just VH1 it, which I refer to, because there's all those interview style shows on VH1 where they don't shoot covers, but sometimes they need 2 things quickly, so they'll just, zoom in and angle it. And I was like, we'll just do that, And so that's what we still do. We just shoot with 1 camera, and
where'd you get the experience editing this? I mean, you weren't an editor before, right? You were.
Well,
but when I met Kent in the year 2000, he was the only person I knew that had a digital camera and was already editing things on his Mac. So he was doing it for years.
Yeah, I started with iMovie 1.0, and iMovie 1.0 didn't have undo.
Okay.
No, seriously, there was no undo, and so when iMovie 2 came out with undo, it was like, thank you so much.
So how much video makes up one show? It's usually seems like 5 to 6 minutes, and then.
That's about 40 minutes of raw footage.
And you cut it down. Is it tough to figure out what to cut down, or is that part?
I'll get an assembly from Damian. That's about 4 and sometimes to 8 minutes, and then then it's just kill all the babies. This is like anything that's not that's killing the pacing or it's not funny, goes away.
Have there been any shows, Douglas, that you're there's probably some that you like better than others? Any some you're not happy with, and you said we're just not going to put one out that we've done here?
No, I mean for me, just especially the way that Kent and I work, I do. More on the pre-production. We both work together, hand in hand on the production to make it happen, and then it's his once it goes to post-production. So you just gotta let it go through that process, and both of us get tons of creative input, and then there's no other gatekeeper.
And how much of this is ad-libbed, and how much is pre-planned, kind of scripted?
The best, I will tell you this, the best stuff, or the stuff that makes us laugh when we think back about it, are just stuff that we come up with together, just going back and improvising together and having fun on the day. That is always the best stuff.
And this comes back from your comedy background. You do stand-up as well?
No, just primarily improv.
Okay. And what was the intention ever to be a production company and then kind of roll out new shows, different shows, or was it always, at what point did you think we could do this, we could duplicate this success?
You know, I mean, we've definitely thought about it, like, you know, and we experimented with Hope is Emo, but, you know, it's weird because, you know, we're still so new, and Ask a Ninja is such a juggernaut, but it's still difficult to make that, like, a fiscally successful property. And so it was like,
you
okay.
have to pay attention to a lot of things. You kind of got to take care of that before you.
Yeah, and so that's why we haven't tried to launch anything else new, because it was like, look, let's really get this business of this successful show, and while not trying to worry about like trying to make another show successful with, you know, a fraction of the viewers. And so it's just like, let's really cement this and really, you know, pioneer, you know, the ad model that we want, and, you know, really.
That's a great, yeah. Like it took us 14 months to figure out what was the acceptable ad model for us as content creators, palatable to our audience, and beneficial for advertisers.
Did you have advertisers from the very beginning, or was it there were a lot of episodes about
We
it?
started experimenting probably 4 months in. Or
No. We the first time we had ads was on Rever, and it was on the Pirates of the Caribbean review that we did last year in early July.
And what is the measure of success for you? I guess back then, did you even think about that? At what point did you say, okay, this is working, and what is the measure of success now?
I mean, last year was all about like crazy growth, and it was interesting listening to the Wall Strip guy, because I think we're like two different reactions to Rocket Boom, and to the Rocket Boom like kind of implosion, because, you know, like he was very pragmatic of, I'm going to build and I'm going to flip, and like we were like, we were, you know, like the month before Rocket Boom boomed, we were at VloggerCon, and it was like this very happy-lovey fest, and I had no idea that they were going to do that, like flame out so dramatically the next month, and it was just like, well, great, we'll just copy what Rocket Boom's doing, and, you know, and like they waited a long time to do ads, and we'll wait a long time to do ads, and we'll build it up, and then when they flamed out, I was like, oh, we have a very similar business model as them. We need to. No one knows what's going on, so we need to sit down and figure this out. And like,
but one, like in terms of figuring it out together,
right?
A big difference made was the fact that rather than 49-51, we were 50-50.
Yeah,
like
we were
that
totally
1%
50-50.
made a big difference to us both being invested in figuring it out together.
So when you have a